Hi Pisces, welcome to your February 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading, and also happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in February. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As for what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we actually pull some oracle cards to get some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so moving on to the past energy on your side, we have the Two of Cups. So this is actually a Cancer energy here, which for you guys, that's your 5th house. So this can just be saying that you might have had a romantic connection with this person in the past, but it might have been a bit bumpy trying to get it started. And the reason I say that is usually with most decks, the Two of Cups looks like a much more bright, sunny atmosphere, right? A lot of optimism. Definitely looks like the start of a new romance. But here, the artwork here, if we look in the background, we can see some lightning. Looks like there was definitely a storm going on. And then this cup over here is knocked over as well. So it could just be saying that, one of you, whether it was you or the other person, might have been trying to give from an empty cup, which means that, maybe you or the other person weren't over a heartbreak from the past. So it could have been one of those things where the connection, the attraction was definitely there, but maybe the timing was off. That's what I'm picking up on primarily. And as far as timelines go, this might have been during the Cancer full moon eclipse that we had in early January. So that's what I'm seeing there. Past energy on their side, they have the moon. So definitely seems to be some connection with moon energy there. Since Cancer is ruled by the moon, I tend to see this as an energy pointing to them, but also this is often viewed as Pisces energy too. So on the one hand, this could just be saying that they might have had a heavy focus on you. Maybe their attraction to you was pretty great, and then maybe it's actually you guys who are the ones who might have still been getting over something from the past. So it's one of those things where maybe you guys had that connection, but you just weren't ready to give yet. So that could have been what was at place there. For others of you, this could just represent that they might have been confusing to you, or they were confused by you as well, because the moon could often represent confusion, not necessarily seeing things clearly. And again, like I said, this to me points to most likely something that might have happened to you guys back during that Cancer full moon eclipse too. All right, in the present energy, we have the Seven of Staves. So this is actually Leo energy here, and what I'm picking up on here could be saying that for most of you, I feel like this is probably you who's actually defending yourself now. So whatever the case may have been, like I said, maybe they made an offer to you and it might have seemed like things were going well, but maybe you might have broken it off with them a bit abruptly. And, maybe now you're reconsidering that, but now, here you are trying to come toward them with an offer and try to get things back, back off the ground. And you might find them to be very critical towards you, maybe you weren't expecting it. You know what I mean? Like maybe you thought that, they'd be happy to see you come back around, right? But maybe you come back around and there might be a bit of conflict between the two of you, which wouldn't surprise me as far as you guys are definitely going to have Mercury retrograde in your sign this month too. So there could definitely be some confusion there around communication. For others of you, it might be the other way around where, again, maybe in the past there was that connection there, but the timing just wasn't right for you, and this could just be saying that maybe they're coming back around and maybe they're representing the dragon there as far as, trying to come back towards you and you're still not ready yet. So that could be how it is for some of you, but that's what I'm picking up on there. Present energy on their side, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is actually Capricorn energy here. And what stands out to me here in this deck in particular is if we look at the female energy in the card, right, it looks like she's looking in the mirror, completely disinterested in what's going on with that guy, right? And then that makes me think of that term, kissing your feet. So this could just be saying, again, like I said, maybe whatever might have happened, maybe the breakdown that you guys had in the past just seemed a bit abrupt to them, and maybe there was no explanation. So maybe they were just a bit hurt by that. So now they might feel like, okay, you're coming back in, but they might really want to make you work for it, basically. You know what I mean? So it could just be one of those things where, you might have thought, oh, I'll just come back. They'll be happy to see me. But it could just be one of those things where they're still holding on some resentment from what took place in the past. And they might just, really want to see you work for it in order to actually let you back in. Um, Now, I do have to say, this to me, that's can be, you could obviously take that energy too far, right? It's one thing for someone to want you to come back in just to make sure you're not going to hurt them again. But then there's also doing it out of a, you know, energy of pettiness too. So it looks like for some of you, they might take it that path where they go a little bit too far. But yeah, that's really what I'm seeing there is that, whatever might have taken place between the two of you in the past, they haven't fully let it go yet. And now, because of that, they're trying to make you work for it before you guys can move forward. In the future position on your side, we see the Queen of Coins. So interestingly, this is also, same energy, the Queen of Pentacles. So now you're in that energy. So it could be one of those things where, and maybe that's why we see the Two of Cups having like that rocky type of dynamic, and then we see the Moon energy. Maybe this is just saying that this is just the dynamic the two of you have in general, where it's like you guys have difficulty getting on the same page, and then it's like an eye for an eye type thing, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, well, they're going to do this. Well, now I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? It could be one of those things, and maybe that's why it's like you guys feel that attraction and you're drawn to each other, but you can't just seem to get things off the ground in the right way. And that could be what it is, where it's like, okay, well, they did this. Well, now I'm going to do it, so it could just be one of those back and forth dynamics. But here, especially here, I mean, if we look at the vibe of the artwork in this card, it's a lot different than that one, right? It just seems that like someone that's a lot more confident and comfortable with themselves. So for a lot of you, this could just be saying that now this is you actually being more settled and actually maybe able to, approach them in a much more settled way as well. So that could just be saying that you actually might be ready to solidify the connection with them. But in some ways too, I feel like because you're coming out of this with a lot of confidence, this could also be you saying, well, okay, I get what you're doing here. I understand that, things might not have worked out in the past. This is where I'm at now. I'd like to have something with you, and kind of like a take it or leave it thing, you know what I mean? But not being petty at all. Just saying, well, look, this is what I want to do. If you're in or not, it doesn't matter, but here's my offer. Let me know, one of those types of things. And the bottom of the deck on your side too, I have to say, is the King of Staves. So this is actually Leo energy. So on the one hand, this could just represent you taking that bold, courageous action, right? But on another, this could also, again, be pointing to, like I was saying, there's going to be a full moon in Leo in February. So could just be pointing to the significance of that timing for you guys. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And future energy on their side. If I could get the card. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is interesting energy in a couple of different ways. From the one hand, we see the Queen of Pentacles energy there, right? And now we see the Knight. So on the one hand, this could just be pointing to, them softening their position a little bit, you know what I mean? So like I said, maybe things were a bit more contentious with that Queen of Pentacles where they were really digging in and, making you work for it. But here, the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, by the way, which is your opposite sign, this could represent them actually taking action now, right? And it looks like they're actually making an offer to the feminine energy here. So this could just be saying that, maybe, again, you gave them like that take it or leave it type dynamic, right? Where you're like, okay, well, I see that you're still, not really open to this, but, if you're ready, that's my offer, right? So then this could just be saying that now, by you giving them that time, they might come back around and actually extend an offer to you. And as far as timing for that goes, given that this is Virgo energy, this might be saying that that might happen for you guys around the full moon in Virgo, which will be in early March. So given that it is in the future position, that would make sense, that could take place next month. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. And also, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight, too. So, this could just be saying that you guys might have just been moving at two different speeds, where actually, maybe for some of you, you guys were the ones who were a bit more aggressive, and they were the ones who were a bit more, really slow to move toward the connection. And now, as time goes on, they might open up to it a bit more. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Five of Wands. So, this is actually more Leo energy we see here, too. And this could just represent conflict at times too. So again, like I said, maybe you guys had some kind of conflict and that was what caused all of this to begin with. But what stands out to me with the artwork here too, though, is like, to me, this could also represent maybe interference. You know what I mean? Where maybe someone might have spread a rumor to them about what you were doing and something like that. So that could be what's at play there too. So maybe that's what caused all this, especially with the moon in the past, which can usually in the upright, I don't view it as deception, but it can be deception. So maybe that was what screwed the whole thing up to begin with. You know what I mean? Like maybe someone told them, oh, yeah, I saw Pisces doing this, that, and the other, right? And maybe that person had ulterior motives, but then that messed things up between the two of you. And then that could be where, you guys are defending yourselves, like, yeah, I definitely didn't do that, right? And then they're coming from this, well, you know, they're trying to make you work for it, but then this might be you in that case digging your feet in, like, well, yeah, I didn't do it. And then maybe with that Leo full moon, you guys might actually get vindicated, or maybe the facts come out and you realize, they realize, oh, actually, Pisces wasn't doing anything wrong, right? And then that could be why they're coming in with the Knight of Pentacles energy, which is to try to make up to you, too. So that's another dynamic that I see here now, that maybe this is all around, like, some false accusations, and then now they have to actually come back and apologize to you. And again, as weird as all that sounds, at the same time, it's almost not surprising because, like we said, we are going to have the Mercury retrograde taking place in your sign. So communication could definitely go a little haywire for you guys. All right. Moving on to the Oracle cards. First, I'll see if we can get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, I do pre-shuffle this deck before I start recording. And then I'm actually just looking for a couple of jumpers here. So first I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I just take that as a sign to keep it moving, since it's just a general reading. All right. So let's see if we get anything as far as unspoken messages from you to them. Oh, got one there. And let's see if we get any from them to you. Okay, nothing coming up yet, but I'll get a few more shuffles before we give up. Almost have one there. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have anything coming up. So let's take a look at the one you had to them. Would you reject me? So interesting. So yeah, see, I feel like that dynamic that I mentioned is definitely what's at play for some of you, where this could all be around false accusations. But going back to that original story I was talking about, maybe it was one of those things where, like I said, maybe it was just bad timing. So maybe you guys might have, in the beginning anyway, made it seem like everything was good with that Two of Cups energy. But again, like I said, maybe you guys had some past hurt that you weren't fully over, but maybe you didn't communicate that to them. So when things might have ended between the two of you, they might have been in that moon energy, like, okay, what the hell just happened? You know what I mean? So it might have been a surprise to them. And then maybe that's why we see that Seven of Staves energy where, like, okay, now I'm ready to come in and communicate to them. And then maybe this is saying that maybe that's your fear, that they're going to, like, chew your, chew your head off, or bite your head off, rather, with the would you reject me? So that could be what's at play there for some of you. All right, let's see what we get from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation here. I pre-shuffled this deck, and then I'm just looking for one card here, and we'll wrap up. Okay, got one. All right, the card you guys got is Round and Round. There's the artwork, and the number is 25. So it's funny, before we even look at the messages for that, the Round and Round made me think of what I was saying, where like maybe this is the dynamic you guys have in general, where, it's like that on again, off again thing, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, they're going to do this. Well, now I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So you guys like dig your feet in and have a hard time getting on the same page. Maybe that's what that's going to point to there, but we'll see what it says in the book. All right, it says the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. The Oracle's message. The appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So, what was interesting to me there was when it says, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level. Makes me think of the Seven of Staves energy. It's not as evident in this deck, but like if you guys think of the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, it's actually a person standing up on a higher vantage point, and then there's six wands looking like they're coming toward them to attack them. But because they have that higher vantage point, they actually have an advantage that, if they were all on the same level, it might have been more difficult. So this could just be saying that maybe this is you actually overcoming a problem that you might have had, whether it be with this person or just in connections in general. So again, maybe if there was, like I said, some kind of wound that you guys hadn't healed from, that might have caused things to happen in this type of dynamic. So maybe this happened with multiple people, and now you're actually overcoming that. And then the Queen of Coins coming up in the future could be saying that this represents you finally having conquered that problem and being ready for something more stable. And then the Knight of Pentacles could say, well, now that you've healed that wound, maybe that will actually bring that type of connection toward you. So hopefully that made sense. But yeah. The relationship message says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learn something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So, definitely a really cool message there, and in a way, it's actually quite fitting that it says that because, like I said, the Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your sign this year, too. So, I mean, we get plenty of Mercury retrogrades every year, but it's rare to have it happen in your sign. So, it could definitely be a significant transit for you, and maybe that might help you clear up some blockages and see things from a different perspective. So, hopefully, that resonated with you guys. Like I said, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in February, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.